What's up, everybody? It's me, Michael Magneto 7 Crawford, and I'm here to invite you to get my book, Playbook to Production Volume 1. This book discusses the fundamentals of how to become a music producer in today's industry. It covers things like how to monetize your music, how to stand out amongst the crowd, even how to pick the proper gear. If you want to be serious about becoming a music producer today, cop that book. Peace.
What's going on? What's going on, good people? Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Build Your Forward with Lentheus Chaney. Today, I'm doing something totally different. I've got Mr. Podcast himself in the house, Mr. Magneto Michael Crawford, who also has a podcast, MAD Lucrative. So we're joining forces today to talk to you about some different subjects, and we're going to go off the cuff and just have a good time.
Yep.
Mike, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you collaborating with me today.
Oh, no problem. No problem. And I will intro mine. Welcome to the MAD Lucrative Podcast. I am the host, Magneto 7, with the one, the only, Lentheus Chaney. This episode 25 for me, episode 16 for him, and we are going to get to it. Like, we're going to go in, like, in. So,
look. Yo, like I told you before, I'm normally really scripted and I'm all this and that and just trying to get straight to the point, but I'm appreciative to be able to do something different today, for real. So I'm gonna let you start off. How are we doing this thing today?
Well, I think, like I was talking to you yesterday, like it's more so about us giving people as much value in the content, but just making it a nice, good conversation. So,
for sure,
I want to introduce you to my listener from the historic standpoint, and then you can kind of you tell your version of what what mine was. So I think I met you. Was it at it was an event that Shamil sung at? Was it?
Yeah, it was an event for my magazine, Urban Lux magazine. And that was the one where we were celebrating the mayor of Atlanta. And yeah, you go ahead. You tell the rest.
That was at the spot off of Marietta?
Exactly. The West Side Cultural Arts Center.
Yo, I completely forgot. That's what, that is dope. I forgot about that. But anyway, so if y'all don't know, first off, Lentheus the soirees that he puts together is a situation. It is a situation.
Pretty much.
And I think me and Shamil was impressed by like, yo, this is dope. And you got to think, this is what, 2000, maybe 12?
Gosh. Somewhere around there. Yeah.
About 2000.
It was the year that she was on the show. What was the name of that show?
Rising Star.
Yes. So what year was that?
Golly, that was before the girls were born. So yeah, probably about 2012, 2013, somewhere around there.
It's funny how you go through life and you knowing people and you talking on every day, and then you go back and you try to retrack.
Mm-hmm.
How in the heck did y'all get connected? I don't remember. We met professionally, music-wise, event-wise, and then we got connected again with you doing work at my house. And or was it one of the Airbnbs? I don't remember.
I think it was the Airbnb off of by Tyler Perry Studio, not the new one that you just did with old girl, but that's not even Airbnb. I think that's your Section 8 house. I think
one of them.
Yeah, and we're gonna get to that.
But that
no, look.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that real estate thing too.
Yes.
Yeah,
but I think over this short time, because I won't say anything under 10 years is short to me. So over this short time, we've grown to be great friends. Everybody on my podcast hears me talk about my money friends. I consider you to be one of my money friends.
What is a money friend? I didn't know this. What is a money friend?
Okay, a money friend for me is somebody that does not really come to take as much as they could take from you, but it's a give and take situation. You educate each other on finances, and I feel like if it was, for instance, if we were going to Brazil, I say, hey, I want you, Ernest, me, Shamia, and a few other friends. We're gonna go to Brazil in May. You're like, okay, hell, let's go.
Yeah, pretty much. I'll be like, come on, let's make it happen.
A money friend, somebody that's not a money friend can't do that.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like in a
So
certain,
is it about, it certainly couldn't be about having money.
no, it's not about having money. It's about affording convenience.
Okay.
For me.
Okay.
And that looks different for everybody, you know?
Yeah.
For me, affording convenience is being able to do certain stuff like that. And I'm just gonna get to that point.
Yeah.
But so for me,
Hey.
I got my money friends, and then I hate to say my broke friends, but I got to figure out a way to phrase.
You know, everybody going to be hitting you up. Okay, so what am I to you, Mike? Am I your money friend or your broke friend? You know that. You know you're gonna get that when this comes out. That's the question you're gonna get.
And you know what? I'm transparent enough and Scorpio enough to be like, okay, yeah, no, you are my broke friend.
Wow.
But no, it's not even. It's like I said, it's not even a financial situation. It's a mindset. It's what are you striving for? You can be making $100,000 a year and still be a broke friend to me because you're not really trying to build a legacy. You're just in it for you right now. So,
right.
Yes, sir, you are one of my money friends.
I'll take that.
Yes. And I appreciate just me being able to learn just from kind of how your lifestyle is. Like, I think you were one of the first people that I heard say that you were debt free. And I was just like, that is dope. I might not say nothing up front, but I'm like, yo, okay, it's possible. You know?
It is. It is possible. And as you know, I've grown to love you and Shami over the years. And, you know, I will bug the hell out of you. Mike, I got this going on, but you always come through. And if you can't come through that day, you come through the next day. But I found it so amazing how you didn't rely just on music to take you on through life. You looked for other avenues to make money and to build a legacy for you and your family. And I was like, wow, that is dope.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just consider you a friend. I don't know if it's a money friend because I don't have many friends these days.
No, look, let me fix that for you then.
I don't have many friends these days.
And that's just true. But you can't say, I don't know if I can send you a money friend. You know why? Because all of your friends are money friends.
I don't have many friends. I have a few friends. My circle has closed quite a bit over the last few years, you know, and that's the dead honest truth. But I know without a doubt that I can pick up the phone and call Mike and run an idea by him.
Right.
And he's going to be able to give some solid advice on that from his perspective. And we bounce off of each other like that. So yeah, our friendship has grown over the years, and I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it. I'd love to see what you do. You know, and when you talk about pick up and go to Brazil, when I saw you and your family, you finally took some time away and you took your family on a trip. What did I do?
I
picked up the phone. I picked up the phone, or I either text you or say, yo, I am so happy to see that you were sitting down for a moment and you're going on the trip and you're taking the kids on the trip and you're enjoying yourself. You're enjoying life because something that you said was the lifestyle that you afford. It's not all about work. It's not always about chasing the bag. It's about creating the life that you want, whatever that is. And that could mean living out of a van and living freely and roaming through the U.S. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Sean wants to do that. Sean wants to do that. And I was like, it's weird to me, but that's what you want to do, you know?
Hey, and not, what do they say? I'm not going to be held down by the man. I'm going to live off my own energy and all of that stuff, man. He's gonna live in the back of a van. And he's gonna be
Okay. Whatever suits him. For me, I just like, bro, that's the white people stuff. Like, oh yeah. For your listener, if they don't know, on my pod, we're very free. I don't know how much you try to, I guess, censor the conversations, but we're very
none
free
at all.
when it comes to Democrats, Republicans, white folk, black folk, gay, straight. We cover everything. It's just all open, transparent.
Yep.
And yeah, so I might slip up and say something about some white folk or whatever. Just know it's not in malice. It's not. I'm just.
No, you good. You good. You good. I love it when my people come on and just speak their truth and what they feel. So we good. We good.
Okay.
So let's get into it. Tell my audience a little bit about who you are, where you come from, what you've done, and then we're gonna get into our topics. I want everybody to know who we're dealing with here.
Okay. Oh, I think my past and present has so many layers that I kind of got to be like, I don't like that part of me no more. But you know, I am from. I'll go all the way back to like in little spurts. I'm from North Carolina, Winston-Salem, whoop-de-whoop. A&T graduate, music department and all that stuff. And I've done work for 50 Cent, Eminem, Jay-Z, the Teriyaki Boys, Jim Jones, Ice Cube. I produce all of these people. I have a Grammy for producing Eminem. A few Billboard plaques. I hate doing all this stuff. It's lame to me. But I have all of these things that says that I'm a successful music producer. And now I'm into the real estate world and building properties. Well, not necessarily building, a lot of remodels.
Yeah.
New podcaster. I'm proud of this podcast lane, by the way. Like, I love this lane.
Do you?
I love it. I love it. And I'm a husband, dad, friend, son, skeptic, not
Skeptic.
a realist, and I just try to stay positive. That's who I am at the core.
Well, I love the fact that you're so down to earth, regardless of all the stuff that you've done and the people you've worked with. You're so approachable, man. So, you know, I know you noticed you recently said that you were not doing any more online beats. You want to talk about that?
Yes.
You're not ready.
Yes. Look, I'm not. Every time I use this subject, it just is a trigger. It's like, ooh. Okay, so.
Well, wait. Before we go on that, let me tell your audience about who I am. I'm Lentheus Chaney. Who am I? I'm still figuring me out, but at the core, I'm a true entrepreneur at heart. I think that entrepreneurship runs through my blood. My father was an entrepreneur. I didn't grow up with him, but what I do remember about him is that he was always doing something.
Okay.
From a t-shirt business, man, to, you know how in the funerals that you have the motorcycle riders that precede the funeral, and clear the traffic and all of that. He had a business that did that. That man always had something going on, and I'm the same exact way. So I spent 20 plus years in corporate America, gave them all I had, and then I got laid off just a little bit shy of being eligible for retirement. But throughout that time, as you know, Mike, I was done some of everything. I've had a magazine, I've had a clothing line, I've had a fragrance line, I've had a skincare line. I've done all kinds of things, and all of that has culminated into this. My real estate world that I've been successful in the last 4 years, and now the resurgence of the magazine is now in podcast form. It was Urban Lux magazine. Now it's Build Your Fort. And Build Your Fort is about building your dream, creating a legacy. The things that you do and the people that I talk to on my podcast are people who are pursuing their passion and doing it their way, not necessarily because of what anybody else says.
Mm-hmm.
No influence from anybody, just doing what it is that you love.
Yes.
And that's what Build Your Forward is about. And that's who I am. I'm doing what I love.
Let me add to who you are. For my listener.
Oh, no.
Look, you said it real nice and modest. It was nice. But Lentheus is he said serial entrepreneur. Let's say serial owner of real estate. Cause I think with the new generation, because the average listener for my pod is 25 to 42. That's my age range that normally listens. And I think, especially if it's people like me that went to college and they went for, a sewing kit degree, just something random. They don't know what it looks like to bounce back and get into another arena and thrive in it. So,
yeah.
So when you say magazine owner and thrived in it, real estate and thriving in it, like, I think they got to know, like, yo, okay, first off, I know we go with the introduction, right? We go with introduction.
Yeah, we go with the introduction. Yeah.
All right. So what made you get into the real estate space overall?
Wow. So, the name of my company is Fortress Legacy Builders. And the way I came about that name has a lot to do with my childhood. And that's how real estate came about. So when I was laid off, I took it kind of hard, but I didn't take it too hard because I knew that I could bounce back. But I was shook and I was scared because once you have 20 years of service with a company and you're dependent upon that paycheck every 2 months, every two weeks,
Yep.
It's like a drug. You're addicted to it. And although I had several companies simultaneously while working full time, I knew I had the safety net of a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
So when that happened, I had to figure some things out. And, God led me 2 years prior to start getting debt free. It's almost like that book, Who Moved My Cheese? You got to know what's going on before it happens. You need to prepare yourself before it happens. So something in the back of my head say, yo, you need to start planning for whatever is about to happen. It's just a feeling I got. So I closed down the magazine. I'll never forget it. It was October 2015. And I'm at the Atlanta Ballet. I'm doing an event there, magazine event. I've got a room full of people. My mom, my aunt, family members flew in for this event. It was a big event. We were honoring several prominent people in the city of Atlanta.
Okay.
And as I got up on the stage, something said to me, this is it. And it came out of my mouth. I actually said to the crowd, this is probably going to be the last one. And everybody was like, it got quiet. It's like, no, what? And then I was like, what did I just say? But that was the beginning. I knew it was time to shut that down. And that's something that I want to say to everybody is that when something is not benefiting you and I don't want to say it wasn't benefiting me. It taught me a lot, but I was putting a lot of money into it. I was putting every single spare dollar I had into printing the magazine and throwing the events. And not only that, because I'm altruistic by heart, I also was giving money back to the organization. So there was an organization that Camp that was associated with that event that they benefited from. And so that's coming out of my pocket. And printing, as you already know, the print industry is down.
Right.
So it's an expensive business. So I shut that down. 2 years later, I get laid off. Throughout that, before those 2 years were up, I got debt free.
Okay.
I think the only thing I had left was my house. I had a BMW. I sold it. It was the BMW X5. I had the big tires. I had 20s on that bad boy, 22, something like that. I had big tires on it, the big rim. I mean, it was a nice truck. And I was like, you know what? I'm not attached to this anymore. It's not serving me.
Yeah.
So I got laid off. And so I had to think about what in the heck are you going to do next? And so Fortress came about and Realestate came about when I thought about what it is that made me happiest as a kid. And I remember closing my eyes and just thinking about, okay, what is it? What is it? So what made me happy as a kid was building a fort in my backyard.
Okay.
So my mom, single mother, we need a little more space. We had a 2-bedroom. We still have that house, 2-bedroom, 1-bath house.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have like a family room or proper dining room. So she had an addition made to the house when I was a kid. And so, it was stuff that was, left around after the building was done. There was some concrete blocks, living in Miami, the houses are made out of concrete. Well, the houses that didn't get blown away by Andrew are made out of concrete.
Yeah.
So I took those extra building materials and I built a fort in the backyard. And you're an only child. I'm an only child. You already know how it is, how we have to entertain ourselves as the only kid. You don't have no brothers and sisters.
Yep.
And man, when I tell you that was the happiest that I was, that was the most fun that I had, actually taking my hands and building a freaking fort out of concrete block in my backyard and taking plywood and making a roof and getting some old carpet remnants and putting it down. And when I tell you, I was having a ball.
That is dumb.
So, because everything that was left over from the carpeting and everything that was left over from the construction, I used it and I built my fort in the backyard. And I was like, that's it. That's what made me happiest as a kid.
Okay.
I think that the thing that I want to really do, because it always fascinated me, was being able to provide space for people and they pay you for it. And it's like, everybody got to live.
Yeah.
Everybody has to have some place to have shelter. Businesses have to have a place to do business. So why not sell property, rent property? I've started buying property. And that's how real estate happened for me. And I do it because I enjoy it. But the thing that has made me successful in it is the fact that I was debt free.
Okay.
And that's because when you start off in real estate, and if you're an agent or a realtor, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes some time to build up to it, to have those sales, to be able to support yourself. And if you go in with the intent just to make a sale, your buyers, they sense that. And they don't believe that you have their best interest at heart. And so they believe that you're just in it for the money. You don't care about what it is that's best for me as a buyer. And so it was easier for me because I didn't have the weight of a whole bunch of bills. I was able to take my time and actually enjoy the process of being a realtor.
Interesting. Okay, so I got on the same real estate note.
Yep.
I know for me, I enjoy, and you've kind of helped me get out of certain predicaments that I put myself into because I wasn't thinking as a boss, as Shamil likes to say. I wasn't thinking like a boss. I was thinking like a worker. So I always loved, kind of like you, my grandfather. I had a story. I was building a studio in my grandmother's old pottery shed in the back of my grandfather's house. And
Okay.
that's really kind of what made me that was the first introduction to building stuff. But my grandfather was the type, he came in and said, you know what? This wall is made out of wood. I had duct tape. I had plexiglass. This is like middle school. This is middle school. I had duct tape, plexiglass, everything. And I made a wall with some cardboard, duct tape, plexiglass. He was like, this ain't gonna work. So he pushed it down. I was like, yo, you pushed my wall down. What is you doing? But in return, he ended up showing me how, okay, this is how you should frame. This is what framing looks like. This is what type of material you use for this. You need drywall for this, and this how you set a door. And I was like, I'm learning this in middle school. So every time I went to New York or LA, I would be there to do music, but I would pay attention to the structure. And like, I just grown to love what architecture looks like. Like it's something in it that just makes me be like, oh wow, like look at the glass, look at this. And I know my friends be looking like, dude, Are you gonna produce the track or but I've learned that kind of like you, people always need somewhere to stay.
Yep.
They always have to eat. So I'm trying to get into all those other areas like the food industry and transportation, like from the tractor trailer standpoint. But yeah, like it's funny how we could go back to our childhood and we pull different elements to make us who we are today.
I think that's important. I mean, if people really think about what was that thing, as a kid that I did well. We always ask kids, what do you want to be when you want to grow up, when you grow up?
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, but that's stuff that's been planted in their heads,
Exactly.
society and their parents.
Mm-hmm.
What do you really want to do? I like the color. Really? Okay. Let's explore that.
Mm-hmm.
I like to sing. Really? Let's explore that. It doesn't always have to be a doctor or a lawyer or anything like that, unless that's what you want to do. Because we get caught up in that lifestyle, man, and you're working in corporate America or any of those other industries, and you start acquiring things. And you can't get out of that industry because you got all this stuff now that you have to pay for. That house. You got to pay for that car. You got to pay to get the kids into the most prestigious colleges and all of that stuff you got to do. And now you're stuck and you're miserable when you could have very well been coloring or singing and still be happy.
Yeah. Well, even in that, I wonder, I've had the thought plenty of times, like, what if we taught the kids, and I'm not saying ostracize any kid, but if we taught kids, okay, well, no, you're not made to be from how you're moving and with your comfortable element, you would to this creative field more, and you should go after this. But if you're gonna do that, let's start setting you up with real estate or this income that's gonna pay you while you pursue that. Because I think so many times the creative, because I was one of them creative kids. Like I've always been good in math and science and stuff like that. But when it came to the school structure and C student.
No, I was there. I'm right there with you. Yeah.
So I wish, and that's kind of what my initiative now is trying to teach the school system how to manage these creative kids, because you're going to be, like you said, if you love the color and they say, well, you ain't going to get no good job coloring, you need to go do this. Now you just squash that kid's full potential to be XYZ. They're going to be in their 20s and 30s trying to get back to the passion, versus if you help cultivate it up front and say, okay, well, look, you got real estate, you know how to do this? Okay, you could do management for 4 hours a day and manage.
And that's what your guy is doing. He's getting ready to go and buy a van, and he wants to live out of it, and he wants to travel.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you ask him, what from your childhood has prompted you to want to take that route? And I bet you he'll be able to pinpoint exactly where it is.
Okay.
Ask him that. Ask him that next time y'all are on the Instagram acting crazy.
Yeah, we are off the wall. We are off the wall. Let's see. The Georgia, black money in Georgia. All right. We're both here so we can talk about it. So how can you see where the climate has changed for people wanting to collaborate instead of being in competition with each other?
I think it's getting much better.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now I was going to say, like, in the last, I know I've noticed it in the last maybe 3 years, but before that, not necessarily.
I agree. And what's funny is that the people that I know from that era are still just after it all by themselves instead of collaborating. And I think that if you collaborate and you respect each other professionally, that you can get a lot more done. just like what we're doing. We're collaborating on a podcast today.
Right.
You know, I feel absolutely great about that. But there's other ways that you can collaborate, whether it be real estate or whether it be maybe you have a product line. And you know somebody who's a graphic artist, but you know how to make the product. You got somebody else that can do the graphics. You got somebody else that can do the marketing. Why can't you all come together and collaborate and build a company instead of trying to do it all by yourself? And I think that's where a lot of entrepreneurs get caught up, that they're not willing to share a piece of the pie, and they're not willing to bring other people in who have the expertise that you don't have, you know?
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with sharing. Absolutely. I think that you have a better chance of growing something bigger if you are able to collaborate with others.
Do you think it is from they want to compete based off of deficit? Like they're not getting enough of something, so they feel like they got to keep all of this? Or do you think it's from a attitude of, I'm trying to stay on top, so I'm not going to do this with you? Like, where do you think that competitive side comes from?
I think that the internet has made it that everybody wants to be a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of two people in front of the camera being the superstars,
Mm-hmm.
somebody wants all the viewers for themselves. And that's the hard thing about competition, or bad competition, that is that when you're just trying to be better than somebody else just for the status and for the views and for the notoriety of some people that you don't even know, when if collectively you guys can come together and build something great that's beyond just status from eyeballs.
Okay. I got something to put into to add to that. This probably date back to probably like 60s, maybe to the mid 70s. Cause of course I was born in 83, so I can't go back for so far, but I have read about certain things, and the way I perceive certain things is just not the way I think the general public perceived it until now. For instance, segregation. When I know they said in North Carolina, we had one of the biggest Black owned bus liner companies. So they span from Winston-Salem, Greensboro, High Point, down to Charlotte, and I think some of South Carolina. All Black owned bus line. So when they saw the Rosa Parks, I'm not giving my seat up. I'm gonna stay right here. This is, I don't care if it's a white people on here. I'm sitting right here. Naturally, more Black people went towards the white bus line company, and the black bus line went out of business. Yeah. So I can't remember the name of the person I was talking to, but it's one of the grandkids of the bus line company. They still stay back home. So I wonder, how much stuff are we giving away now that we could just maintain ownership of?
A lot, for sure. Absolutely a lot.
Okay.
I find it, well, I've never heard this story, first of all, but what you're telling me is that instead of patronizing the Black bus line company, now because you can ride on the white bus, you migrated all the way to the white bus instead of continuing to keep the Black bus company in business. And why do you think that?
Oh,
is it the same reason why we line up in front of Gucci and Fendi? And there's a line going all the way down the street.
Exactly.
Is it the same reason why I see all these product reviews of all the notable white designers instead of uplifting a lot of the Black designers that are up there? I mean, I'm just curious as to where that mentality.
I mean, and I say that because when we go back and forth to talking about Black wealth, and competing versus collaborating. I think as many black folk that they might tear me up for this statement, but that's one of the things that the white folk do the right way. They might have their own, inside competition going on. But when it comes out to the masses, oh no, we partner with so-and-so. We got so-and-so. Like, I told, I ain't gonna tell you the guy's name, but he's an exec. He's an exec over at Hulu. So, well, not exec, he's mid-level exec. But I was like, yo, I just realized that everybody's just repurposing content. He's like, what you mean? I was like, are we supposed to not know that HBO and Warner Brother is the same company? Or CBS, Disney, Universal is the same company? So it's like, okay, well, what do you mean? So I went back to when Shamil was on the show. When she was on Rising Star, that was on CBS. If people don't know, for the people that want to go do one of these competitions, this is how it works. They'll pick you up from the show. Now you're going to have a certain amount of following before they even contact you. It's just one of them things. So then once you get on the show, they're going to say, okay, yeah, you can pick whatever song you want to sing for the show. Not necessarily true. You're going to pick a song from this list that's been approved from the network. What songs do you think the list comes from? This catalog.
The ones that are, that they own. That they've got,
And all they're doing is recycling. They're recycling the money from, okay, this is the label, Universal, but this over here is CBS. Y'all supposed to not think it's the same thing, but it is. It's all the same. So that's why I've always, even before she got on the show, I was like, yo, I think it's pointless to do those type of shows if you don't have the infrastructure to capitalize off of it after you get off the show.
So Mike, right quick, so that I know your listeners know who Shamia is.
Mm-hmm.
Can you let my listeners know who Shamia is? First of all, is your wife.
Yeah.
But tell us a little bit more about her and what she's been doing.
Shamia Crawford, for the internet world and TikTok world, she's the Amazon lady. She did a song this time last year that was about Amazon, and what was it called? It's like, everybody's addicted to Amazon. Oh, gonna make me lose all my money, whatever. So from that, she's just morphed into the jingle queen. And people pay her to do jingles for their business, a product. She's done a lot of the hoodie stuff for people. And we'll church it out most of the time. Like, they love hearing her do, like, they call her like Jasmine Sullivan's sister. And it eats her alive. Okay. It eats her alive. She's like, I'm not Jasmine Sullivan's sister. But she's become known for doing that. But before that, she sung with Vashawn Mitchell on Created for This album. She was on that album. We've done some stuff together, like with Ice Cube. She sung the hook. And yeah, that's about it. Oh yeah, now she's doing the sham pies. So her sweet potato, I gotta get you some sweet potato pies too. But
I'm waiting on it. I went to the door the other day because there was a knock, and I thought maybe that this was the time that the pies were going to show up. And they weren't there.
Well, you moved. That's why you're at a different location, so you can't get it.
Oh, okay. So you don't have the new address. That's the excuse we're going with. Okay, I'll take that.
But for me, going back to the show, I think those shows are so detrimental to artists. And I don't know how, I guess because we're so creative, we don't think that in that line, but I fast track everything to the end. And I'm always like, okay, if we do this now, what does this look like in a year? Right? So for me, when I look at those shows, when I look at certain record deals, if I look at somebody that wants to do this style of music, but it should be this type of music. I'm like, okay, what does this look like? And I feel like those shows really tear up a person's emotions. One, because you create this facade of, I'm on the ABC, I'm on the CBS, MTV, whatever. I'm on this big brand network, and all of these millions of people are going to see me. You're going to get the best stylists, the same people that style people for the Today Show. I'm going to get them stylists. I'm going to get the best publicists while I'm on the show. When I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, you're getting about $100,000 worth of treatment while you're on the show. And if you lose, you lose. All that's gone like that. It's done. So how do you pick up from there? And most artists can't tell me how they're going to pick up. And that's why I have such an issue with doing those type of shows, because it's like you're creating a false narrative of success for artists, and
so you have to go, like you said, go in it with a plan ahead. If I do this, how am I going to capitalize off of whatever it is that I'm getting? Because I think that's sometimes where we miss it, is that we are presented with opportunities sometimes that may not always work out as a winner, or for lack of a better word, I'm the winner at the end and it's going to move on.
Mm-hmm.
But even though that I know that might not come out on top in this particular situation, whatever it is, am I going to be able to parlay this into something else? How can I plan so that whatever I'm getting out of it, that I can utilize that to go to the next step?
Mm-hmm.
Is it that we just get caught up on wanting to be the winner instead of you looking at it as a stepping stone for the next?
And to take it a step further from that, most of the contracts that the artist is presented with before they get on the show, and most of the people is just going to just sign anything because I want to get on the show. What's the biggest one? American Idol. American Idol chose me to be on this show, so I got to go over here and show out. I got this. Look, American Idol give you the contract. Like, yeah, okay, whatever. When I need to go to LA, you don't know that you cannot use, if you make it to, I think the threshold is like top 5, something like that. You cannot use like Michael Crawford from American Idol for the first 6 months or so after you get off the show. What that does is kill any momentum that you built from being on the show. So what was the point?
So I take it you can go do interviews on stations that are owned by whoever the conglomerate is that owns the show.
Yeah, if you have your own PR agent that can get you on there.
Oh, but you can't then use their resources after you have been removed from the show.
Cold silence.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. So everybody that you built relationships with while you were on the show is blackout. As soon as you get voted off, if you don't make it to, even if you make it, I think she made top 8. Even if you get voted out of that top 8, it's cold silence. Everybody that was like, yeah, reach out to me if anything happens. And no. And that's that LA stuff. Like, it's a lot of that. It's come to Atlanta now, some of it. But yeah, that's why I just be like, yo, no. Anything you do, create some type of income over here and pursue the art. That way you can control every aspect of it and you own it at the end. Cause now and I feel like I'm talking so much, but now when you look at how labels pick up artists, or you look at how networks pick up artists, they don't have to do no homework now. Everything is already online. They're going to say, okay, well, you got 500,000 followers. If we get 10% of that, we're good with doing those, some good ratings. we can group you with this person. They got 1 million followers, and now our ratings for our network is going to go to this. This is the minimum that we're going to get. And then they offer the artist or whoever a check for 50,000, 75,000, knowing that they're going to make 400,000 off of it. So, yeah,
So will there be any more shows in the future for the Crawford family, or are you going to do self-produced stuff?
It's all self-produced.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not. The only way we would deal with the network is if we could do a JV, and folks don't know that's a joint venture. That's real estate language and music language. But we would do a JV with XYZ Network and license the show out for this season or for X amount of years. But at the end of the term, they would have to renew the licensing term and say, I want to do it for another 10 years. That's why, that's why people like Will Smith and Quincy Jones, the God. The Quincy Jones and Will Smith and that group of people, however you say it. That's how they're able to win, because ABC may have greenlit the show, but they still own a lot of whatever. So if another any streaming source comes out for the next 100 years, it don't matter. At some point, if Will Smith them die, now Jade and them have the rights to the art, which is in form of Fresh Prince or whatever. That's how they win. Tyler Perry too. Tyler Perry is killing it. Like,
you gotta create your own.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what it's all about.
Yep.
So something we were supposed to talk about today. We were supposed to talk about your boy Kanye.
I love Kanye with a passion. Like, okay.
He just bought some real estate, so he doing something right.
He bought real estate, maybe for petty reasons, but I think, okay.
So he bought real estate where? Let's talk about what piece of real estate he purchased.
Let me make sure I'm right with what I tell you, because I don't want to just give you some information. I know one of the properties is in Malibu, and I think that was
it is located where?
It's on the beach in Malibu. I think
and it is near where?
Oh no, he bought 2 properties at one time.
Okay.
Yeah, one of his properties, which is right across the street from Kim Kardashian.
And that's what I want to talk about. So you have your own theories as to why he bought that property across the street from him. I've got my own as well. I'm going to take the high road. I already know where you're going. I'm going to take the high road.
No.
I think that, I'm going to take the high road. Kanye purchased that property so that he could be close to his kids. That's what it was all about.
Okay.
Point blank, period.
No. But go ahead.
No. I mean, that's all I got. I think he purchased the property so that he can be close to the kids. And I think that's admirable. That's what he should do. He should be close to his kids.
It's so nice. Give the people the benefit of the doubt.
I mean, it's probably something I would do.
When's your birthday?
January.
Okay.
31st, Aquarian.
Okay. Oh, you are that leaf year. You just missed it.
I know, right?
So my birthday is November 7th. And I'm only giving you this information so you can understand why I think the way I think.
Listen, first of all, Scorpios are a little cuckoo. Let's go ahead and put that out there. It's true. Y'all can say what y'all want. I've had a couple Scorpio stalkers in my life before I got married. But one of those stalkers came back even after I got married. So I know y'all a little cuckoo, but you got your own. You march to the beat of your own drum.
True.
Tell us your theory here, sir.
I guess I can't ignore the fact. Do you follow music? Do you follow any?
To To an extent, not as closely as you do.
Okay. I don't know. Everybody knows the line from Drake's song. And I'm telling you this is why I think like it. In Drake's song, he said, I went down the block, made a right, turned out the lights, something with your wife, whatever, right?
Mm.
Who was that about? Kanye and Kim K. Drake stays in the same neighborhood. Everybody knows that. Drake, when his house in LA, Drake stays in the same neighborhood as Kanye. All right. So then I'm supposed to ignore that fact. Then you see Kim out here with Pete Davidson in these streets. So I'm supposed to ignore that fact. Okay. And then Kanye keeps saying that he can't stand Kim's publicist. For people that don't know, that's not from music world or entertainment world, publicists run everything as it relates to an artist or as it relates to an influencer. They give them advice. Oh yeah, I don't think that's a good look based off of your picture with Kanye. It took your impressions down by 30%. A publicist is gonna know that. They're gonna know that information. So the fact that Kanye says, I can't stand that publicist, get her out my house. I don't want her in my house. And then Kim comes down to support Kanye for the it's a Larry Hoover concert they did with Drake in Canada, right? Kim came out there dressed, supporting Kanye, and then the next day after Kanye says, come back home, he changes the lyrics in the song and said, please come back home, Kim. I love you, Kim. Come back. Next day, Kim says, oh no, we need to speed up this divorce. Why? Why is this? Was it the publicist that said that was a bad look? Because it looks like y'all could possibly be getting back together. Right? So now, fast forward to now, current day. Kanye buys a house in Malibu. That's probably for him to just go trick off. It just is what it is. You're going to go trick off, make some good music, and we're going to have a dope album at some point. But the house across the street, no, this is a surveillance house, man. That's like somebody, like you got a dope house. And listen, I've had to deal with a whole bunch of different type of clients. Some of them might make $100,000 from real estate and marketing. Some of my clients might make $100,000 off dope. Be honest with you. Just being honest. Everybody that I know that's in that world got a surveillance house. You're not going to have the stash in the house over here and I stay in West Virginia. No, I'm going to have Buddy down the street. They got a house is right down the block from my other spot so we can keep track of what's going on. And then, we'll go from there. Everything stay cool, then we stay cool. But if it don't, I'm right across the street from you. Oh yeah, and I want to see my kids too. I do want to see my kids too. So
oh no, so that's gonna be on the end. Okay. That's sad.
I mean, dude, okay. Case in point. I ain't gonna say the producer name that I was in the studio with, but I was in New York. And I think I've talked about it before, but me and Habit were working on a record, right? And I think we had just landed, a 50 Cent or Currency record, but it was one of them. We had landed a song on the album, and I was in his condo. I was posting on Facebook and everything too, so it's still on Facebook. But I was in his condo. We were making music, and our manager at the time was like, "Yo, I think y'all should try to work with this sample." So it was a sample from, was it Leslie Gore? You Don't Owe Me, from the Wife soundtrack or something, like a 70s, 80s movie. I start chopping the sample up, build the drums, play the instruments around it. And I'm like, yo, Eminem is going to get on this record. He ain't never had an Eminem record. I've never had an Eminem record, but I was like, yo, he's gonna give him this record. It sounds like it's too much like him. They sent it. We sent it to him. He like, yeah, M loves the record. He gonna use it on the next album. All of those conversations changed between then and then. Like, it went from buddy to, oh yeah, we're gonna let the lawyers handle percentages. Don't call me about percentages. We just do you and I do creative stuff, but the lawyer's gonna talk about percentages. So me, I'm brokey. I'm going through, I think I was still working at Enterprise at the time, and I had bought my first condo in North Carolina. So I'm halfway broke. I'm like, bro, you up here, you got a Range Rover, you got the Porsche, you got the Lexus, you got big boy cars. And I'm like, yeah, I got a little Honda. Like, I'm happy with my Honda, but I got a little Honda. Like, why you gonna do this? And it just changed. You add business, lawyers, managers, other things to the equation. No, it changes. And I can't even remember what.
Maybe that's why people don't want to collaborate.
I think I could go with that, but I think we gotta just do a better job of judging character too. You know what I mean? Like, it's some people right now, since I started the pod, to be like, yo, I want to get on the podcast. Like, yo, my little cousin, I love my little cousin, but he's an avid podcast watcher, so he's gonna see what I'm saying. But he's like, yo, I want to get on the pod. So I looked at the text and I was like, why? You work on cars. Like, I looked at the pod, like, that don't make sense. But then in my business mind, I was like, yo, how many Black podcasts do we have about cars? And to be detailed, NASCARs. Like, he works on those. Like, he knows that world. So I was just like, yo, that could be dope if he had a pod, but for him to be on mine, like, my podcast is really just to upbuild the creative community and teach them about how to make money in different areas and all this stuff. So
you know what you got to do though. No.
What I need to do?
Mad Lucrative Network. You just said that there's not many Black mechanics that work on NASCAR. Yo, that could be a great podcast for him,
right?
To talk about his experience and, you know, what it's like being in that world,
right? But as from the collaborating standpoint, that makes sense for me to him.
Yeah.
But to unpack that further, I know the environment that he has to stay in Carolina. A lot of it is not the most encouraging to pursue this new big thing. A lot of the times back home, and it might be like that in Florida too, but a lot of the times back home, we have people that just squash dreams just to be doing stuff.
Yeah.
I don't see it, so that's a bad idea. No. Maybe you just don't know how to think on that wavelength.
I just had that conversation with a friend not too long ago. Remember I told you earlier, my circle has gotten a lot tighter and smaller over the years.
Mm-hmm.
When you've got that environment or somebody in your environment or in your circle that every idea you come up with, all they throw at you is all the negatives. There's never any positive as to how this can work and what it can do for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's always, I wouldn't do that because XYZ. Okay, I get it. You wouldn't do it, but I'm probably going to go ahead and do it. Oh, I wouldn't do that. And so those are the people that you got to get yourself away from. That may be what he needs to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, dude, I see so much potential in people, and it's kind of like the how the preachers always say, I see the potential that you don't even see in yourself type of deal. I see so much potential in people. I hear their conversations on how much stuff they feel like they're not accomplishing. And then I'm like, yo, like, How you don't see this is everything you complaining about, this fixes it. And you probably enjoyed the journey on the way to getting there. So it's like, why not?
Well, let's unpack that. Let's unpack that. We're going into 2022.
Mm-hmm.
What are we we're about an hour in on this. Let's go ahead and wrap this up with the 2022 talk about getting to where it is you want to be.
Okay.
Now, my thought is that, you know, I blame everything on the damn internet, but let's tell the truth about it. You know, social media has made it seem as though stuff happens overnight. Social media has made it seem that people's lives are so freaking glamorous and nobody really knows on the back end what's really going on. You know, now there are those people who got money like that, you know, they're performers, they're entertainers, they're living that life, they're doing that. But then there's a whole other class of people who are doing a whole lot of stuff to make it look like they got it like that.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to pursuing your dreams and figuring out what it is you want to do, it takes sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
And what it seems like on the internet is not necessarily true. You know, what advice you got for people who are looking to do something new, something different for the new year? What would you tell them to do to get ready for that? My opinion is they should have started 6 months ago, but you know, we are where we are. We in December is we're about to turn over to January.
Yeah.
What should you be doing? Quarter 1, 2022.
For one, and I know people eat me alive for it, but I don't believe in vision boards.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
I feel like vision boards creates a false narrative on what you feel like you should have or what you feel like you should pursue. I believe in creating the plan and just executing the plan. Because same thing as us losing weight. We know we want to lose 100 pounds. And you say, I'm going to lose 100 pounds by March. Right? That's a whole lot of weight when you average 7 pounds maybe per week. Right?
That's a lot. That's a lot even for 1 week.
Exactly.
Yeah, go ahead.
So when you morph the idea of I'm going to lose this much weight in this short amount of time, that thought pattern always, it travels. It never goes away. It's going to follow you to business. It's going to follow you to creative. It's going to follow you to relationships. So I just believe in building a plan. If you want to be in 2022 and say you want to make an extra $30,000 for the year, and that's kind of low, but say you want to make an extra $30,000 for the year. Okay, what can you do? What plan can you put in place so you can execute this? You might have to do less TV time. You might have to do more time scouting on Instagram and trying to find out people that's in your area. But don't be on Instagram on the did you see that? Look at this. No, like use it as a tool to get where you want to go and build structure around it. You know, and I think that's the best advice I could give people for moving forward, 2022, 2023. Like, build the plan and be realistic. Still dream. Dreams are great. You can dream, but if your dream don't line up with your income, then maybe we need to pursue some other options and then get back to this part of your dream at this point. But now, you know, like you said, it's the end of December. Like, if you ain't got the plan after you heard this podcast, you need to take the whole next 2 weeks. Don't answer your phone unless it's something important. Don't get on the internet unless it's something important, and build a plan, because there's people out here that's working 24/7 and making their life the plan. For instance, Lentheus and I talk often, and I love how he works his Airbnbs. For my people that's listening on Mad Lucrative, he is one of the Airbnb people. Yes, he is one of the people. But
one of the people. Yeah.
This is winning.
One of them.
Winning in that space.
Yeah.
I look at how he moves and I'm like, yo, I know I work a lot, but I'm not doing enough. Like, okay, what can I do? We went in and did the equity play this year, and I was like, yo, okay, we need to do the edition. We need to do podcast studios, like all in. So I'm literally building every aspect of my free time, extra time, podcast. Ain't no, we're not talking about, yo, NEDO, can you produce a track for me? No. You want to do a podcast? You can come rent this space. Yo, NEDO, can you come build a house for me? No, I can send you a sub and they come over there and do whatever you need. I'm focused on this podcast. So I think people just got to build the plan. That's it. Vision boards are fine if you feel like you need that for kicks and giggles, like you need to see it. Like, and I say that because I did it before. And when I do my vision board and look back at it, I was like, yo, I failed. I'm nowhere near this. Like, this is lame. So
I agree. Build a plan.
You know, what do you feel about vision boards? I know we're wrapping up, but what do you feel about vision boards?
I don't do one. I've done one once before, but my vision board is in my mind. And so I keep in mind what it is that I want to accomplish. When I wanted to buy my first house, in my mind, I said that I want to buy a house by 30. And I did that. It's like I was relentless. I just kept going. Had some hurdles along the way, but turned 30 January that year. By July, I was closing on a house. So my vision board is normally in my mind. I do believe you have to write things down on paper.
Right.
And that's where the planning comes in. I know how many listing appointments I need to go on per month to be able to get to what I need to be at the end of the year. So I've got a plan. I've got a goal. I looked at what my income or my commissions or whatever it is, the dollar amount of homes that I sold or listed last year. I know what that is. And so I met with a coach as well. So I think having a coach is an absolutely amazing thing to do. Invest in a coach that knows what they're doing, that has the results that you're looking to achieve.
Right.
For one, let's not just be out there giving people money who are just talking behind a camera and they're not really doing the things that they, yo, I'm gonna put together this class and you're gonna do this. You'll be spending all your money all day long trying to take classes.
Exactly.
But invest in a coach that knows what they're doing, that has the results, proven results of where you're trying to go. So I talked with the coach and my coach told me, the first thing she said, how much did you do this year? And I was kind of embarrassed. I hadn't been keeping the track of it,
Yeah.
And so I got all the numbers together. She's like, you need to do double. So whatever it is that you did last year, so whatever your income is, people, last year, if it was 30, if it was 40, if it was 50, if it was 60,000, double it. But in order to double it, you need to know what plan you need to put in place to be able to double it.
Right.
I know that in order for me to, and it's all about numbers and statistics. It's not a vision board, but it is writing it down. So I know if I made X amount last year and I know I sold X amount of homes or listed X amount of homes last year, I do an average of the price of the home that I sold for that year. And then I multiply that by however many times that it takes for me to reach my goal for the next year. So if I'm going to be doubling it, and if I sold 12 houses and I need to double it, I need to sell 24 homes or list 24 homes for 2022 so that I can reach the goal of doubling my income. And I think it's possible. It's possible. I could definitely do it if I'm not, on the internet, as she said. But But what I found is that if you're gonna be on the internet playing, you better be playing so that it's going to be generating money to put in your pocket. So when I do these crazy little videos on Instagram or whatnot, somebody pick up the phone.
Exactly.
Your boy Rock called me. I did a video, made him laugh. He called me that saying he sent me a DM. Rock said, "Yo, I forgot you did real estate." I was like, "Yeah, man, you just stayed in my Airbnb. What you need?" And so we had that conversation. Now he's getting ready. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to be on Instagram and you're going to be putting videos out, put videos out that relate to your niche and that are going to bring income to you. If you're looking for eyes and you're looking for attention, look for the type of attention that you're going to be able to sell this person on whatever it is that you do.
Right.
Make it a benefit for you. Not just do I waste time on the internet sometimes on Instagram? Yeah, absolutely.
We all do.
Absolutely. But I also follow people that are proven what they're doing and that I can learn from. My next big thing is NFTs. Yo, you and I talked about that a little bit. That's part of my plan. NFTs is the thing. I bought my first NFT 2 weeks ago. I'm going to buy another one in January.
Okay.
And then I'm going to figure out how to launch my own NFT project. That's the goal. That's part of the plan for 2022.
Okay.
So I've already got my real estate plan on what it is I need to make. Okay. So everything else that I do above that, it's just going to be extra.
Exactly.
You know?
And I want to, before we end it, I want to recap that for my listener, because you gave them a play that was a super play that applies to every area of life. You said, okay, if you did 12 this year, you want to jump to 24 in sales. If you do 24 this year, you can double it. And that's all I be saying. Like, that's why I don't like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make you a millionaire off of this. Okay, that's possible. But if you ain't made $1,000 off of this just yet, how are you gonna make $1 million off of it? Because that goes back to you didn't come up with the plan to get those type of numbers. Period. So if y'all ain't listening on the Mad Lucrative side, if y'all had not listened to anything this man said today, that's the play. The biggest play right there he gave y'all. Try to double it. And that's the whole game. Like if you made $50 this week, try to make $100 the next week. If you made $500,000 this month, try to make $1 million the next month. Like it's the same. It always applies.
And put a plan in place on how you're going to get it. Because you can't just sit back and say, oh, I'm going to make $1 million next year. But how are you going to make that $1 million? What are you going to do different that you didn't do last year so that you can reach that goal? I know I know how many phone calls I got to make, because it's all percentages. You do averages and you be like, yo, your percentage is going to be about 1 or 2% or whatever that percentage is going to be. If I need to make 100 phone calls in order to get somebody to say yes, that's what I'm going to have to do if I'm going to reach my goal.
Right.
I'm going to have to go meet, do some more meeting with people out there looking to sell their house. I'm going to have to take more meetings so that I can at least get one of them to say yes.
Yeah.
So you can't just sit back and expect them to double without putting some action in place so that you can reach that goal.
Right. Right. Hey, man. Appreciate you, dog. Look, you done gave me another play. You don't even know it.
You know how we
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
I appreciate you, man, for sitting in on Mad Lucrative and Build Your Fort podcast, y'all. Yo, this was a great one. This is the longest one I've ever done. I'm excited about this. This is the last one of the year for me. So we're going to come back in 2022 strong with some more content.
Yep. Let's do it.
What you got to say before we leave?
Oh, man, nothing. I guess just as a wrap up, I look forward to us being able to do these big conferences where we're actually educating and putting people in position to win. So that's kind of where my brain is going right now. So I'm like, yo, as soon as we jump off, I'm going to be on my notebook pad. Like we got some movement that we need to do, and it's going to be very impactful. So,
and some collaboration for sure.
Yes. So I appreciate
that healthy competition.
Right.
I appreciate you too.
Right.
For
right.
sure.